This is the time for real wisdom.
If Trump wins, how about bursting into tears and screaming fuck for the next 45 minutes?
Well, America is crying tonight. I'm not sure how much of America, but a very, very significant portion, and I mean literally crying.
Everybody is crying and so upset, and it is the end of their world.
Feels like the end of the world.
We were on Lifetime last night, and I was slowly getting drunk is what happened to me.
How do we explain how this is possible?
How did this happen? Experienced politician versus racist fake gynecologist. Get your abortions now, because we're going to be fucked, and we're going to have to live with it.
You're awake, by the way. You're not having a terrible, terrible dream. Also, you're not dead and you haven't gone to hell.
This is your life now. This is our election now. This is us. This is our country.
It's a different Earth today than it was 24 hours ago. It's a different place. It just is different.
Decency lost last night, and that's what's so hurtful about this.
This was a white lash. This was a white lash against a changing country. It was a white lash against a black president in part. And that's the part where the pain comes.
I kind of push back against the advancement of African Americans, of Hispanics, of women, of Muslim Americans.
It is a mourning moment for those people, and it is a moment filled with fear.
Because I'm on this network and people know my attitudes about things. They come up to me and they're scared, depressed, despair, desperate even, almost clinging to me.
It was a rough night for everybody, I think. We're worried. The people are worried. Okay, he's the president. Now why?
It feels like we're trying to avoid the apocalypse, and half of the country is voting for the asteroid. Is there a doomsday plan?
For a time like this, am I right to ask about a doomsday plan? Do you see this as a doomsday scenario?
So if Donald Trump is democratically elected and your son is serving as a Marine, you wouldn't trust his life under that commander-in-chief? And Kane said, I wouldn't. That's a pretty extraordinary thing to say. If you have a son in the Marine Corps and that you don't trust the commander-in-chief, there's people in the military who defend the Constitution.
I can't put a happy face on that, and that's my job.
This is the first time throughout this entire race where I'm officially shitting my pants. I genuinely do not understand how America can be this disorganized or this hateful.
How do you govern when your whole campaign was built on the hatred of somebody else?
From slavery to, Nazism, we have faced challenges before to who we are as a people.
Even as President Obama calls for national unity and oversees a peaceful transition of power to Donald Trump, there are thousands of dejected and outraged Americans who are now protesting out in the streets the new president. Last night, there were massive demonstrations that erupted on the streets of at least 10 American cities, including Oakland, Chicago, LA, and Boston, as protesters shut down highways, burned the president-elect in effigy, and chanted anti-Trump slogans. Here in Gotham City, thousands marched to Trump Tower to show their discontent with the nation's decision. Those demonstrations picked up again today in San Francisco and elsewhere in the country. We sent our team out to ask the protesters here in New York what they hope to achieve.
What are you hoping to come out of this rally?
Solidarity with others.
Show everyone that in a democracy, we get our opinions count too.
I'm hoping with social media and everything we have at our fingertips these days, that things like this will make the world see that we do not want this president. This is not our president.
I'm hoping for people to see that people are upset about his policies, about what he wants to do to this country, and will get up and join us.
Yesterday, devastated, angry, upset. Today we're coming together in an expression of rage.
I hope that he get impeached, to be honest.
We want people to organize, to pay attention to local elections, and to do everything they can in the next 4 years to stop the harm that's going to happen. I don't know what else to do except for make my voice heard and get the voice out and make sure people know that this is not what we want.
Today, with the Democratic Party facing a lot of problems, Repository John has reported that Howard Dean is now seriously considering a run to get back his former job as Democratic Party chairman. So, John, is this just kind of a falling action from a party that just suffered a surprising loss, or are we going to see protests continue and the DNC chair position is kind of a proxy fight, initial proxy fight for trying to find a new direction?
Well, I think that clearly that protests of this kind are not going to go on indefinitely. They will happen for a period of time.